The night was still, the only sounds coming from the occasional rustle of leaves in the breeze. The Oldtown fish market stood silent, its stalls empty, except for the lingering scent of fish that permeated the air. Purrdiana, a Maine Coon with a reputation for his adventurous exploits, moved like a shadow through the market. His target was the golden tuna statue, a relic said to bring prosperity and good fortune to any cat who possessed it. Legend had it that it was hidden deep within the market, protected by ancient traps. As he approached the entrance, he noticed thin fishing lines stretched across the path, tripwires designed to alert any intruders. With the precision of a surgeon, he stepped over them, his paws barely touching the ground. Inside the market was a labyrinth of shelves and crates, some stacked precariously high. The air was thick with the smell of tuna, which both attracted and repelled him. He had to stay focused. The statue was his goal. Following a mental map he had memorized, he turned left at a stack of sardine cans, then right past a pile of lobster traps. Finally, he spotted the statue, its gold surface gleaming in the moonlight that filtered through a skylight. Just as he reached out to take it, a shelf above him creaked and began to topple. He leaped out of the way, but the noise was enough to alert someone. A giant can of tuna started rolling towards him, picking up speed as it went. Purrdiana raced ahead of the can, looking for an escape route. He spotted a ladder leading to a higher platform and scrambled up it. The can crashed into the ladder, shaking it violently, but he held on tight, his claws digging into the wood. From his vantage point, he saw Meowlick, his Persian rival, waiting at the exit with a group of alley cats. Meowlick's eyes met his, and he knew he was trapped. He decided to make a run for it, the statue clutched in his mouth. As he dashed towards the exit, Meowlick pounced, knocking him to the ground. The statue skidded across the floor, and Meowlick snatched it up, floating as he disappeared into the night. Purrdiana lay there, defeated, his fur matted with dirt and fish scales. He knew this was just the beginning of his troubles. A week later, Purrdiana was summoned to the Feline Council's chamber. The council met in a grand room filled with antique furniture and plush cushions, where the aroma of catnip wafted through the air. The council members, each a respected elder from different cat clans, regarded him with solemn expressions. "Welcome, Purrdiana," said the eldest council cat, a venerable tabby named Elder Whiskers. "We have a matter of great importance to discuss." Purrdiana sat down, his tail wrapping around his paws in a sign of respect. Elder Whiskers continued. "There is a group known as the Claw, led by General Clawmore, who are seeking the Ark of the Pounce. This ancient artifact is said to have the power to control the minds of cats. If it falls into the wrong paws, it could lead to chaos and tyranny." Purrdiana's eyes widened. He had heard whispers of the Ark, but never thought it was more than a legend. "What do you need me to do?" he asked. "We need you to find the Ark before the Clawders and bring it back to us," Elder Whiskers said. "You are our most skilled and courageous agent." Purrdiana nodded, accepting the task with a mix of pride and trepidation. "I will do my best," he promised. As he left the chamber, he couldn't shake the feeling that this would be his most dangerous adventure yet. Kathmandu was a bustling neighborhood known for its eclectic mix of cat-friendly businesses. Purrdiana arrived at Meowrian Purr's Cat Lounge, a popular spot for cats to unwind and socialize. The lounge was decorated with colorful cushions, scratching posts, and cat trees, with the scent of catnip filling the air. Meowrian, a beautiful Siamese with striking blue eyes, was busy serving treats and drinks to her guests. When she saw Purrdiana, her tail stiffened. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice cold. "I need your help," he replied, trying to sound casual. "I'm looking for the Scroll of Purrs." Meowrian's eyes narrowed. "Why do you need that old thing?" Purrdiana explained about the Ark and the Claw's pursuit. "The scroll is said to contain the map to the Ark's location." "Please, Meowrian, I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important." Before she could respond, the door burst open, and Arnold Fang, a large British short-hair with a scar across his face, entered with a group of the Claw's henchcats. "Hand over the scroll," Fang demanded, his voice booming. Meowrian quickly grabbed the scroll from a hidden compartment and passed it to Purrdiana. "Go," she shouted. A fierce battle broke out as Purrdiana and Meowrian fought their way through the henchcats. Purrdiana used his claws to slash at them, while Meowrian used her speed to dodge attacks, her tail swishing in agitation. Finally, they escaped through a back alley, the scroll safely in Purrdiana's possession. Meowrian turned to him, panting. "So, what's this about the Ark?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. Purrdiana explained everything, from the Feline Council's request to the threat posed by the claw. Meowrian listened intently, her ears perked. "I guess I'm coming with you," she said finally. Purrdiana smiled. "I was hoping you'd say that." With the scroll of Purrs in hand, Purrdiana and Meowrian travelled to Town, an Egyptian-themed district known for its ancient ruins and mysterious artifacts. There, they met Smoola, an Egyptian MAU who was an expert in ancient cat lore. Smoola led them to a site where the claw was digging, but it was clear they were in the wrong place. Using the scroll, they deciphered the true location of the Ark. The Well of Whiskers, a flooded basement in an old temple. Cats were known to fear water, and the well was no exception. As they approached, Smoola's steps slowed, and his fur began to bristle. "What's wrong?" Purrdiana asked. Smoola swallowed hard. I don't like water," he admitted, his tail tucked between his legs. Meowrian patted his back. "It's okay. We'll be quick." They entered the flooded basement, the water lapping at their paws. Smoola whimpered softly, his eyes wide with fear. Purrdiana led the way, his eyes scanning for any sign of the Ark. The water was murky, and they had to be careful not to step on anything sharp or dangerous. After some searching, they found the Ark hidden in a niche, covered in dust and cobwebs. Just as they were about to leave, the Claw's cats surrounded them. "Looks like you've found what we're looking for," said one of them, a large tabby. They were tied up and left in the water, with the water level rising slowly. Smoola was panicking, his fur puffed up in distress. "I can't swim. I'm going to drown," he cried. "Shh," Purrdiana whispered. "We need to find a way out." Meowrian spotted a piece of string floating nearby. "Maybe we can use this to fish for the keys," she suggested. Purrdiana nodded. "Good idea." He took the string in his mouth and tried to hook it around the keys that were hanging from a hook above them. It took several attempts, but finally, he managed to knock the keys into the water. Meowrian grabbed them and unlocked their bonds. They quickly made their escape, with Smoola leading the way, despite his fear. Once they were safe, Smoola collapsed, his fur soaked and matted. "I never want to do that again," he said, shivering. Purrdiana and Meowrian exchanged a look of gratitude towards him for his bravery. After escaping from the Well of Whiskers, Purrdiana, Meowrian, and Smoola see the Claw's van speeding away with the Ark, its golden surface glinting in the moonlight. The van, driven by a large tabby cat, weaves through the bustling streets of Town, a district known for its ancient ruins and fish markets, the scent of tuna and spices filling the air. Determined to retrieve the Ark, they jump on their scooter, a small, cat-sized vehicle modified for speed, with Meowrian at the handlebars and Smoola clinging to the back. "Hold on tight," Meowrian shouts, her voice tense as she accelerates to keep up. The chase is chaotic, with cats scattering as the van and scooter speed past, knocking over fruit stands and flower pots. The air is thick with the aroma of fish, adding to the sensory overload, and Purrdiana stands on the back of the scooter, his eyes fixed on the van, his tail lashing in determination. As they approach a narrow alley, Purrdiana sees his chance. "I'm going in," he yells, leaping off the scooter with the grace of a panther, landing on the van's roof. His claws dig into the metal, leaving scratches as he steadies himself against the wind. The van swerves, trying to shake him off, but he holds on, his fur standing on end from the rush. Inside the van, the Claw's cats are alerted. "We've got company." One of them, a grey tomcat with a scar, yells. Purrdiana drops down from the roof, landing on the hood with a thud, peering through the windshield and locking eyes with the driver, the tabby, whose eyes narrow in recognition. The driver swerves wildly, trying to throw Purrdiana off, and the van careens through the streets, narrowly missing a catnip garden and a tuna processing plant, the scents mingling in the air. Purrdiana hangs on, his claws scratching the paint, his tail whipping for balance. He spots a loose panel on the side and pries it open, dropping inside the van. Two of the Claw's cats are there, guarding the Ark, which is secured in a crate lined with cushions to prevent it from shifting. "Hand over the Ark," Purrdiana demands, his voice a low growl. They laugh. "You're outnumbered, Purrdiana," the grey tomcat says, lunging at him. A fierce fight breaks out, with cats hissing and spitting. Purrdiana uses his claws, slashing at the grey tomcat, who yells in pain and retreats. The other, a black cat with yellow eyes, tackles him, pinning him down. Outside, Meowrian and Smoola continue chasing on the scooter, trying to get close enough to help. "Watch out!" Smoola shouts as a motorcycle ridden by another of the Claw's cats tries to ram them. Meowrian swerves, narrowly avoiding collision, her tail stiff with tension. The claws reinforcements, several more cats on motorcycles, join the pursuit, surrounding Purrdiana and his team, their engines roaring like growls. Back in the van, Purrdiana has incapacitated the grey tomcat but is pinned down by the black cat. The driver, hearing the commotion, pulls over suddenly, throwing everyone off balance. Purrdiana is knocked unconscious by a blow to the head from the black cat, who then drags him to the back of the van. When Purrdiana wakes up, he's tied up in the back of the van, with Meowrian and Smoolar beside him, also bound, their fur matted and their eyes wide with fear. The van resumes its journey, heading towards a river crossing, where a small boat is waiting to take the Ark to the Claws Island headquarters, an abandoned warehouse surrounded by water. The van arrives at the river crossing, and the Ark is unloaded, still in its crate, and loaded onto the boat. Purrdiana, Meowrian, and Smoolar are forced to board, their bonds tight, their tails tucked in submission. As the boat sails across the river, the island comes into view, its silhouette ominous against the moonlit sky. Purrdiana looks at Meowrian and Smoolar, determination in his eyes. "We're not giving up yet," he whispers, his voice low but firm. Meowrian nods, her ears perked. "Let's see what we can do." They start working on their bonds, trying to free themselves before they reach the island, their claws scratching at the ropes, but time is running out. As they approach the dock, the Claws cats are waiting to receive them, their eyes glinting in the darkness. Purrdiana knows that once they're inside the headquarters, escape will be even harder. He takes a deep breath, preparing for whatever comes next, his mind racing with plans to retrieve the Ark and thwart the Claws' plans. The Claws' headquarters, an abandoned warehouse on a remote island, loomed in the moonlight, its silhouette ominous against the dark sky. Inside, the warehouse was vast and dimly lit, with cobwebs hanging from the rafters and old crates stacked along the walls. A few lanterns cast flickering shadows, creating an atmosphere of mystery and danger. In the center of the room, on a rickety wooden table, sat the Ark of the Pounce, its golden surface glinting faintly under the light. Meowlook, a Persian cat with a luxurious coat, stood before it, his eyes gleaming with anticipation, flanked by General Clawmore, a fierce Bengal, and a group of the Claws' henchcats, their fur bristling with excitement. Purrdiana, Meowrian, and Smoolar were tied up in a corner, their paws bound with thick ropes, their tails tucked in submission. Purrdiana's fur was matted from the earlier chase, and his eyes darted around, searching for any opportunity to escape. Meowrian, a Siamese with striking blue eyes, whispered to him, "We need to get out of here." Smoolar, an Egyptian Mau, nodded, his ears perked, but his fur bristled at the thought of the water surrounding the island, recalling his earlier fear from the well of whiskers. Meowlook turned to them, his voice dripping with arrogance. "Finally, the moment has come. With the power of the Ark, we will control all cats and rule the world," he declared, his tail swishing triumphantly. Purrdiana shouted, "Don't open it. You don't know what's inside." His voice was urgent, his claws flexing against the ropes, trying to loosen them. Meowlook sneered, "You're just trying to save your own skin, Purrdiana. Watch and learn." He stepped forward, his paws trembling with excitement, and lifted the lid of the Ark slowly, the creak of the wood echoing in the silent room. General Clawmore stood beside him, his eyes fixed on the Ark, expecting some magical revelation. At first, nothing happened. Everyone leaned in, peering inside, puzzled. The Ark appeared empty, with only a faint layer of dust and cobwebs. Meowlook frowned. "What is this? Where's the power?" he mumbled, reaching in to touch it. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from within, like a dam breaking, and a stream of mice poured out of the Ark, a flood of small, grey, fast creatures. The mice were hungry and angry, having been trapped for centuries, and they ran everywhere, underfoot, up the legs of the cats, biting and scratching with tiny, sharp teeth. The warehouse erupted into chaos as the Claws cats started panicking, jumping and jowling, trying to catch the mice, but there were too many. The mice scurried under crates, climbed up the walls, and even ran up the cat's fur, biting their paws and tails. Meowlook screamed, "What is this? Get them off me!" as mice crawled up his luxurious coat, tangling in his fur. He flailed, trying to shake them off, but more kept coming, biting his ears and whiskers. General Clawmore tried to maintain order, shouting, "Stay calm. It's just mice." But even he was being attacked, jumping around, his tail puffed up in distress as mice swarmed over him. One mouse bit his paw, and he yowled, retreating to a corner, only to find more mice waiting there. The Hinchcats were in disarray, some trying to escape, others cornered by the mice, their hissing and spitting filling the air. One cat, a grey tomcat, lunged at a mouse, only to trip over another, falling into a pile of mice that immediately covered him, biting and scratching. Another cat, a black female, tried to climb a crate to get away, but a mouse jumped on her face, and she fell back, yowling in panic. Purrdiana and Meowrian looked at each other, their eyes wide with surprise and relief. "This is our chance," Purrdiana whispered, his voice low but firm. They started working on their bonds, using their claws to cut through the ropes, their movements quick and precise. Smoola, despite his fear of water and the chaos around them, was the first to free himself. He then helped Purrdiana and Meowrian with their ropes, his paws shaking but his resolve strong. Soon, they were free, their fur bristling with adrenaline. They made their way towards the ark, which was still on the table, with mice still pouring out of it, creating a river of grey bodies. Smoola took the lead, his knowledge of the warehouse layout helping them navigate through the pandemonium. He dodged a lunging cat and a group of mice, clearing a path for his friends. Purrdiana picked up the ark with his paws, holding it tightly, careful not to drop it. Meowrian grabbed a broken broom handle lying nearby, using it to clear a path through the chaos, swatting at mice and dodging lunging cats. One of the claws cats, a large tabby, tried to stop them, lunging at Purrdiana, but a mouse jumped on his face, and he recoiled in pain, giving them a moment to pass. Another cat, a black tomcat, tried to block the door, but Meowrian swung the broom handle, knocking him aside, and they ran outside, the cool night air hitting their faces. Smoola spotted the boat first and shouted, "There's the boat." He ran towards it, with Purrdiana and Meowrian close behind. They reached the boat tied to the dock. Smoola and Meowrian jumped in, and Purrdiana handed them the ark before jumping in himself. As they were about to untie the boat, they heard footsteps behind them. Meowlic, his fur matted and his eyes wild, ran towards them, screaming, "You won't get far." His coat was covered in mice, and he was shaking them off, but more kept coming. Purrdiana grabbed an oar and stood ready to fend off any attack. Meowlic tried to jump into the boat, but Purrdiana hit him with the oar, knocking him back. Meowlic fell into the water, sputtering and coughing, his fur soaked, and he struggled to swim, his fear of water evident as he flailed, the mice still biting him. Now, with all three of them in the boat, Purrdiana, Meowrian, and Smoola, they untied it and rowed away from the island, leaving the Claws' headquarters in disarray. As they sailed back to the mainland, they could see the island in flames, a result of the chaos, with cats scattering in all directions, their screams echoing across the water. Purrdiana looked at Meowrian and Smoola, smiling. "We did it," he said, his voice tired but triumphant. Meowrian purred. "Yes, we did," her tail swishing in relief. Smoola added, "I never thought I'd be so glad to see the shore." They continued rowing, the ark secure in the boat, their bond stronger than ever. Back at the Feline Council, Purrdiana and Meowrian presented the ark. The council members, their eyes gleaming with relief, expressed their gratitude and assured them that the ark would be safely stored in a secure location, hidden away from prying paws. As they left the chamber, Purrdiana and Meowrian found a quiet spot in the courtyard where a warm sunbeam bathed them in golden light. They curled up together, their tails intertwined, enjoying the peace and each other's company. Purrdiana looked at Meowrian and purred. "Maybe we can go on more adventures together." Meowrian smiled and nuzzled his neck. "I'd like that," she replied, her voice soft. And so, their story continued, with many more adventures to come, under the watchful eyes of the Feline Council.